Talking with Neil, and it was just like kind of like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And I think that's what it is. Like,
that's
what's the hell
really
yes?
good.
And like for Walter, like that's his hell yes, is basically helping hundreds of people become millionaires, right? That's his hell yes. For me, like the reality is my hell yes is just basically investing for myself and just doing that. And that's it. That's the only thing I feel hell yes about. All this other stuff I do, I like to do. I get some enjoyment out of it. I do like helping people and stuff, but none of it's that true hell yes where it's like investing for myself. That's always a hell yes. I love it. Like that's, if someone said you can only do one thing and only one thing, that's the one thing I'm doing.
It. I guess for me, it would be, since we're talking about this, I think it would be freedom and massive income from passive income. So like when that money, if I see that coming in, that gets me all amped up to have the freedom to go. I don't know. I get really excited. Like this is going to sound kind of silly, but like I got on my mountain bike today and went for a ride, and that freedom feels like so good to me. Like, it's like, wait, I have this life and money's coming in, but I can still go out in the woods in the morning. I love that.
And it is priceless. Freedom.
Freedom.
People are like, freedom isn't free. No, it may not be free, but it is priceless.
Yeah, it is. And there's different levels of freedom, but like most people think of freedom as financial freedom. That's not freedom. That's financial freedom. That is like a proponent to maybe having freedom, but you could have freedom even without that, based on your outlook and your mindset. But even financial freedom, like there's different levels of that, like we've spoke about that before. Like I basically, I'm lean fire, the financial dependence retire early. And the only thing that really drives me sometimes is I'm like, well, I'd like to be fat fire. You know what I mean? Like I want to have that next level money so I can do like the really generous stuff. Like now it's like, I live a regular life. I have regular, fun, but it's internal struggle, wanting more, but not wanting to really, Is
this our subtle hint that we have to sign off?
I was just hanging out until Ron showed up.
I want to relate to that, Mitch, because I was lean fire when I was living in Vegas. I was lean fire when I first retired at 30. And then I realized like I didn't have enough money to live the way these guys were living. So I came back, I built my businesses up. I became a millionaire by 32. And at millionaire status, I knew like I was protected, but it wasn't enough. Like it's still like I was able to retire a little bit better, but I came back, and then at 34, multimillionaire status, I have decided not to fully retire, but create a life that gives me the experiences that I want, where I'm paid to travel, I'm paid to be in front of people, and I have a life of meaning. But every person I talk to ends up being a business, another stream of income, another way of building millionaires, a way of leaving an impact on the planet, which is important to me. Like
I just wonder if when you get to multi-million, then you want a little bit more, and then you want a little bit more, and then you went, well, I really could be comfortable a little bit more. And then I just remember Heidi Rain speaking at one of the events saying that she used to work with people who had 300 million and they still weren't satisfied. So it's sort of
it's a game that keeps growing on itself. Like level one of any game you play, like you can play at level one, but you got like a wooden sword and it's really frustrating. You can't kill big stuff.
We're just in a simulation, and this is just a video game.
In a lot of ways, I have a hard time believing anything otherwise.
Just getting up to level 5.
I used to play these games. I used to play Skyrim. I used to play RuneScape, World of Warcraft, Star Wars Galaxies, like all these different games that were very much about building stuff in a world. And one day I just snapped. I realized, why am I over here like digging up minerals and building armor and then selling the armor and then going back and getting more minerals and selling armor? And I just realized I'm just a salesperson in this digital game. Like, why don't I just do this in the real world?
Yeah, right. That makes sense. No Sim City. You didn't play?
Yeah, Crush Sim City. I used to play.
See, I was never into those games.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, dude. StarCraft. Anything that would allow me to kind of predict the future or have an impact in a meaningful way where shit would be saved. I couldn't keep my hands off of those things.
You didn't like that stuff, Mitt?
I don't know. I was never into Sim City. Like I was like even like Zelda was about the only game I played a little bit, but
Crush Zelda.
Yeah. Well, I played the sports game. I was very action, short attention span. So Madden NFL, that was my stuff. Even Tecmo Bowl. But I do wish I would have played more of the Sims and things like that, because that literally like you're building stuff, you're thinking out into like the future and how it would. I'm sure it would have helped my real estate investing. So
they got one called City Builder. Century 21 used to have one called Investor Tycoon or Investor Mogul.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Oh man, I used to have a blast because I could literally practice real life in the game, and I felt like it gave us such an advantage over everybody else who was just living real life and didn't have.
That's the way I feel. Not to bring it to the present, but that's the way I feel about Cash Flow 101.
100%.
I play that game on the computer by myself. It's so simple, but when you do it, you're just blown away at how much it teaches you. You're like a level up from everybody else. it's just me. I love that game. Cash Flow 101.
You can see the future because you like understand the repercussions.
Yeah.
You're like,
we actually, one of the things in there is buy a car wash, and we're buying a car wash. No accident.
Ron says this to me all the time. He says, man, like in the rat race, it's all the stuff we've been buying. It's real estate, it's like stocks and crypto. Yeah. Well, crypto's
you have a baby, you get a divorce,
like all this other stuff.
You get a divorce.
He says on the fast track, all businesses. The rich don't buy this little stuff. They only buy businesses. Yep. Like there's a 50 unit complex, right? There's like one piece of real estate on the fast track. Yeah. But everything else is business, cash flow.
Crazy how fast the money adds up when you're out of the rat race. It's like,
it's just that first
one time around the turn and you've got like $300,000 more. And then you're at 600,000. And they're like, oh, hey, would you like to buy this dry cleaner? You're like, yeah, why not? Why not?
Make that in a week. Whoa. That goes back to Charlie Munger's, his quote, the first 100,000 is a bitch. And he says, do whatever it takes to get that first 100,000. If you got to eat ramen noodles, if you got to, not eat for a week, like, just work 3 jobs, do whatever you've got to do to get that first 100,000. But once you've gotten that, you can pull the gas off a little bit. You can start putting the money to work.
That makes me think that, sometimes doing like the professional thing, like I did being a lawyer, first 100,000 was not a bitch for me because I just did the program.
But did you keep it in the bank? Like the first 100,000 locked into the bank?
Yeah, that's just kind of like part. Somebody told me be disciplined and put it into like this kind of account, and you just I think I just bought stocks with it because of my dad. But yeah.
So you did the simple path to wealth, right? Like for you, it wasn't hard, but for most people.
But I took too long. Like you said, you became a millionaire at 32. I did not become a millionaire at 32. So
I hear you, Mike.
That's why I plan to live to be 200 because I'm gonna get that back.
It's ironic. I didn't start the process of becoming a millionaire until the age that Walter was hit multi-million. Like I didn't buy my first real estate property until I was 34. I was too busy day trading, trying to be a millionaire overnight, and wasted 7 years day trading. And then I'm like,
wasn't a waste.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm like, but there's got to be a better way to build wealth. Like that creates income, which is active income. And it's a lot of work. Every time that comes to me about day trading, I'm like, don't do it.
Yeah,
same. I say the same.
You said that to me with that description that you're like sitting there staring at your screen all day. Just picture someone in like a dark room. Actually, Walter he could kill it.
This be paradise for me.
In a dark room. And
I like to sit. No, I'm all for sitting in a dark room by myself, but nope, that is just stress. Day trading is the ultimate psychological warfare.
Oh yeah,
100%.